Hey, what is up guys? My name is Oleg. This is Bond. Welcome back to the channel. Let's do a Q&A, question and answer. Let's get started. First question, Oleg and Bond. At the moment, what is your favorite watch in your collection? So we actually have different answers. Mine at the moment is the Rolex Datejust. It's been a grail watch for me for so long that now that I finally have it in my collection, 6 months later, it's still my favorite watch in the collection. Mr. Bond over here, not surprisingly, is in love with his Omega Seamaster Bond Edition. Next question. If you were sent to a desert island and could only bring one watch from your collection with you, what would it be? Value doesn't matter. Hands down, it would have to be the G-Shock. It has a solar battery, so it's not gonna run out of power. It has good background lighting, so I can tell what time it is in the dark. 200 meters of water resistance. It's tough, robust, has all the different functions that I would need in the watch, like the timer, alarm, multiple time zones, the stopwatch. So out of all the watches in my collection, even though I love them all, G-Shock is the ultimate survival watch. What's your favorite type of strap? Bracelet, leather, rubber, NATO, etc. So let me rank them in my personal preference. Number one, bracelets. I love a good stainless steel bracelet. Number two, a leather strap. I think they look great with casual watches. They look great with dress watches, maybe a distressed vintage strap. I love me a good leather strap. Number three, a rubber strap. Number four, canvas strap. And number five, NATO. What are the most horrible watches you ever bought and what did you do with them? And there's actually another question that kind of ties in with this question. The question is, everybody makes mistakes. So in the past, what mistakes did you make when choosing watches? Both are great questions and very interesting questions, so I'm gonna try to answer both of them at the same time. So what is the worst watch that I ever bought? I don't know if it's the worst, but it's one of the worst watches that I bought. Is this watch right here. It's made completely out of wood. It's a cheap quartz mechanism with this leather strap. Someone is making noise in a hallway and Bond is in his guard mode. But let's get back to this watch. So I bought this watch when I was traveling in London. I bought it at this farmer's market. I was out with my friends. I was traveling a few years ago and it was just something cool to buy to remember my trip by. Now, ever since I bought this watch, I only wore it maybe once. Maybe I didn't even wear it. It sits in the box. It's not very practical, it's not very durable, it's not worth the 30 pounds that I paid for it. So certainly not the best purchase decision that I made in buying a watch. And that kind of leads me to the next point. What are some of the mistakes that I've made in the past when buying watches? So the biggest mistake to this day actually is impulse buying. Buying a watch that you haven't really thought through the purchase, you just have this money burning a hole in your pocket, or you're excited, or you're out late one night on eBay or whatever, and you decide to pull a trigger without thinking about your purchase. So I think impulse buying is by far the biggest mistake that I've made when I just started collecting watches, and all the watches that I regret buying or all the watches that I have flipped have come from me not thinking through the purchase and just impulse buying watches. Next question. How do you rotate your watches and how do you decide to match each watch for the occasion or the day or the outfit, activity, etc.? Good question. So I rotate my watches once or twice a day. So pretty much every day I would wear a different watch, unless I just bought a new watch and I'm really excited about it, then I would wear it maybe for a week straight or so. But even then, in the same day, I probably would wear two different watches. So let's say if I'm going to the gym, I would wear a different watch than I would wear to the office or when I'm meeting with the clients or at home. So I have my watch box handy. So to answer your question, I'd probably change watches at least once a day. So I would wear two different watches in the same day. Now the second question is, how do I decide which watch to wear? That really depends on my mood. I don't tend to match the watch to the outfit that much. I mean, unless I'm wearing like a suit or something, that of course I would wear a dress watch. but most of the time I'm kind of casual slash business casual, so I would just wear any one of the sports watches that I have in a collection. Where do you see the channel in 2 years from now? There are a lot of channels out there and they're growing fast. You're one of them. Well, first of all, thank you. I hope we're growing fast. I don't know, but I am having a lot of fun doing what I'm doing. Now, where do I see the channel in 2 years from now? And in fact, all the other YouTube channels that are kind of growing at the same time and getting some of them are getting really popular. Well, I think it's actually really good that we have so many different YouTube channels that are reviewing watches, because maybe I review a watch and I like it, somebody else reviews a watch and doesn't like that watch or has some other insights about the watch, and at the end of the day, you guys as the viewers win, because you get to make your own choices, and the more video, the more footage, the more close-up shots you have of the watch, the better purchasing decisions you can make at the end of the day. And that's why I started this channel, to give you guys as much information as possible about as many different watches as possible. So that kind of leads to the next part of this question: where do I see it being in 2 years? Well, in 2 years, first of all, I see there being a lot more watch YouTube channels, maybe not the same ones as we see today, because as time goes on, some people stop reviewing watches, some people move on to other things. Who knows? Life is unpredictable. I don't plan to stop. I see the channel growing to the part where I get a chance to review even more great watches, maybe some watches that are a little bit more high-end, maybe some other kind of small micro brands watches, and maybe do a little bit more creative videos as well. As the channel grows, maybe I can buy some extra equipment and kind of do day in the life with the watch and do some other cool shots. Does Bond get a new toy or something when you get to 10,000 subscribers? Yes, Bond will get a new toy for sure when we reach 10,000 subscribers. He will also get a lot of berries and broccoli. Believe it or not, those are his favorite snacks. Berries, like blueberries, or raspberries or strawberries, and he loves broccoli. So if I give him those and I give him a new toy, he'll be the happiest dog in the world. What is your vintage grail watch? Great question. Right now, my vintage grail watch is a Rolex GMT Master Pepsi, reference 1675. One of these 70s models. Really like the way they patina it. If I could get one in a good condition at an affordable price, that would be my ultimate grail vintage watch at this moment. What 3-piece watch collection would you have if you could only choose Seiko watches? A fun question. So in the collection, I would probably need a diver, a chronograph, and kind of a dress watch slash an everyday watch. A diver would have to be a Seiko SKX. I know there are better divers in Seiko lineup, and there are divers that offer better specs, but I think the SKX is so charming. I love how it fits on my wrist. It's a very comfortable watch, so it has to be a Seiko SKX if I could only have one diver watch in the collection from Seiko. The second watch, the chronograph, I would probably go with something vintage, like a Pogue or one of the Seiko 5s. They're vintage chronographs, 6139. There's plenty to choose from. I have one in my collection, and I wouldn't mind keeping that one again if I had to choose one chronograph for my Seiko 3-piece collection. And the last one, I'm actually gonna cheat a little bit, and I'm gonna choose a Grand Seiko. I know it's not really a Seiko, but it kind of is a Seiko. And the Grand Seiko that I would choose is the Grand Seiko Snowflake SBGA. There are a few different references. There is the black dial, I quite like that. There's also the silver dial, and there's kind of this snowy blue dial. Of course, spring drive movement, a nice power reserve on the dial, very clean design, great quality of the watch. So those would be the 3 watches in the collection. Grand Seiko Snowflake, a vintage 6139 chronograph, and a Seiko SKX for the diver. Oleg, can you suggest at least 2 watches for women that are respected in a watch community and are likely to be good investment? Thank you. So on this channel, I don't talk enough about women's watches because, to be honest, I don't know too much about women's fashion or women, if we're being honest. So I'm not gonna suggest any modern women's watches because I just don't know enough about them. However, what I would suggest for you to take a look at are some vintage watches. So of course you have your classics, you have your Rolex Datejust, and you have some of your Tudor vintage models that are fantastic and offer good value for money, especially for women's watches. If you want to go something a little bit cheaper, look at vintage Omegas. You don't have to look at women's vintage Omegas. You can look at men's models. Right now they're kind of unisex because they come in sizes from 32 to about 36 millimeters, so great size for a modern woman. You can look at the DeVille collection, the Seamaster, and the Constellation. All three are great value for money watches. Some of them are gold plated, some of them are in gold cases, so there's quite a bit of choice within Omega family. You could also look at some vintage Tissot C-Star models. Again, great value for money, great value propositions in general, and I feel like these watches will not go down in value. All right, last question. Which watch/watches from respectable and well-established brands like Rolex, Omega, Patek, etc. you wouldn't wear even if the watch was given to you for free? Very fun question. So there are a couple of Rolex models that I don't like, the Milgauss and the Air King, the modern Air King. I wouldn't wear them even if I was given them for free. It's not that I hate them, I just really don't like them. There is the Tudor Black Bay that came out this year, P01 version. Really don't like that watch, probably wouldn't wear it even if I was given it for free. But my ultimate watch that I would never wear, even if I was given it for free, is that Jacob & Co. The 5 time zone watch that was super popular in 90s with singers and rappers and kind of, I guess, media personalities. You know, the multicolored one. I'll pop a picture on the screen. But that watch I would not wear even if I was given it for free, even if they paid me. Really does not appeal to me in any way. Now, if you like the watch, that's fine. It's just my personal preference. I don't like those watches. In fact, I'm not a big fan of any watches that have diamonds with them, diamond bezels, or any flashiness to the watch. Maybe a nice two-tone or a nice gold watch like a President. I do like that. But anything with too much diamonds, too much shine, does not appeal to me. Alright guys, so that will do it for this video. I really appreciate you watching this video until the end. I really appreciate you guys asking all the questions. We are sorry we weren't able to answer all of them, but we tried to get to as many as possible without making this video too long. By the way, today on my wrist, I'm still wearing my Omega Speedmaster. I bought this watch recently. It's been a grail watch of mine for a real long time. I did an unboxing video for this watch. That video can be found on the channel. I will also link it in the description below. Also in the description below, there is a secret link. Have a look if you're curious. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you guys next time.